with me now is Geri Colucci, owner of Equitable Property Management. Welcome, Geri.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Well, we appreciate it. Now, we mentioned earlier that property rentals are up in this area. Now, you're here to help us understand the rental application process a little bit better. Why is an application process so important in selecting a long-term tenant?
One of the things that is most important is that we have a qualified tenant. We know not only that they can afford the place, but that they have lived appropriately in other apartments, and that once they sign the lease, they know what the commitments are in maintaining the property. So the qualifying process is the most important in selecting a tenant to live in one of our houses.
I see. Now, what does the application process include?
Well, it includes the application itself, and then the parts of the application include a credit check to make sure that person can afford it, that their debt does not exceed their income. We also do an employment verification so that we know that they're going to have income coming in, and if they're not employed, then we check bank statements or we'll check trust funds, whatever we need to do to verify that they can financially afford the property. It also includes, in some cases, a criminal check to make sure that this particular tenant is not going to be a danger to anyone who he is or she is living around.
Okay. Now, in the age of the internet, how do you protect the confidentiality of the information of a potential applicant?
That's a really important question because we do get copies of driver's license, social security cards, and so forth. So our office, which is located on Palmetto Bay Road, is a office protected by an alarm system so that if anyone breaks into it, within a minute the police are there. But within the office we have safes, and we also have locked file cabinets so that the tenant's information is never exposed in any way.
Well, that's good to know. Now, if a tenant qualifies for tenancy after completing the application process, how do you handle service dogs in a property that doesn't want animals?
That is a very delicate situation because if someone has a service dog and there is a community that specifically says renters cannot have pets, then unfortunately the renter will have the pet and the community has to accept them. And it can be a pet, it can be a seeing eye dog, but most recently we've had situations where even for mental health reasons, for companionship, we've had to allow small dogs in communities that don't allow dogs.
Well, it's good that they can do that, have that flexibility.
Yeah, it is.
Now, how do you handle the cigarette or cigar smoking issue on the application process? I would imagine that would be a concern for people looking to rent their properties.
Well, you know what's really important? We cannot exclude someone from renting from us because they smoke. The only thing we can do is in the lease, we specifically have a section that says no smoking is allowed on the property by the tenant or their guests. And if we find out during one of our regular inspections that someone is smoking and there's a smell, then we automatically retain the entire security deposit. And we tell that to people right up front because there are a lot of people who do smoke.
Absolutely. Well, Geri, thank you so much for joining us and sharing all this helpful information. Stay with us. After the break, we have David Carroll with Charter One Realty and Omar Cerna with Galaxy Construction.